Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's time for another morning art stream. It's time for it. And today, what I've got going is, let me get my keyboard correct position, all that. Okay. Today, what we got going is I'm switching back over. It's still Eldritchrune ending stuff. I'm switching back over to doing some character fills. Even though I've still got plenty left to do on the backgrounds, I didn't want to just do all backgrounds all the time for a while. So we're switching off between backgrounds and some character stuff. We'll kind of hop around a bit. Hello, thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here and hope things are going well for you. This has been a not a great week for me, and it's probably not going to improve the next few weeks, so we will get by. For various reasons. I'm happy to be doing some Eldritchrune art now. For today. Again, kind of doing something a little bit easier than the backgrounds. Nice to just do a bit of brainless character fill stuff. Even if a lot of it is our beasts that have a lot of details to them, like Noelle and Birdly. Got too many furs and feathers. Hello, thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here. Again, I am working on some progress for my Eldritchrune AU. This is for the ending of it, which will not come for a while, but it is many pages long. So I try and work on it a little bit. Usually, I try and do a little bit of progress on it once a week, and often that once a week is for my art streams. So that's what we're doing today. But yeah, this last week has been tough, and it'll continue to be tough. For one thing, I am extremely annoyed because my foot got injured again. I do not know how this is happening. I don't know why this is happening. It's just like the exact same pain in the exact same place as last time. And last time I couldn't walk on it for like weeks and weeks. So I'm like, okay, maybe if I can avoid walking on it for a while, it'll go back to normal again. But I'm really mad because I don't know how it's injured, what got it injured. Just I was doing normal walks and it started hurting again. Good morning, thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here while I ramble and rave and work on scary things happening with Noelle over here. But yeah, I like doing morning walks to go catch Pokemon for Pokemon Go, and I can't do that again because my foot got hurt. And I don't even know how. Like, is this a getting old thing? What is going on with my poor foot? I'm kind of tempted to call the doctor again, even though I don't know if he'll be able to tell me anything different other than don't walk on it. I know, but So, I am mad about that. Ooh, Sims 4. Surprised you're not playing Tomodachi Life. Everyone's playing Tomodachi Life. Except me, apparently. I see Tomodachi Life everywhere. Everybody playing it. Ugh. And then also, in addition to my foot getting hurt, so I can't walk very well, work has taken a turn for the difficult. So normally with work I'm actually able to get my work done pretty quickly, which then allows me time to work on Eldritchrune stuff. Like I can oftentimes, I'm so quick with hitting my deadlines, I can get like a weekend early, so I have a little extra time to work on Eldritchrune before my next episode starts. That is probably not going to happen in this case, because the show I was working on, we very suddenly, unexpectedly, had our director let go, and we got a new director. And a new EP for that matter. So there's very suddenly changes at the top. And, as a person, new director sounds great and fine. Like, I haven't heard anything bad about the new director, but apparently they want stuff really different from how we were doing it previously in terms of like the camera work. And from what I've heard, like, there's just a ton of notes on the stuff that's currently in progress. And that is not great, because I'm like used to not really getting many notes. I'm the kind of person who's like, nope, I'm going to do it correctly the first time, and you're gonna like it, kind of thing. Like, I pride myself on, you know, really trying to, you know, match what's wanted the first time, and really pushing myself, making sure I do proper camera work and all that stuff. So getting this many notes, I'm not looking forward to that. My pitch is tomorrow for the episode I'm currently on, and there's probably going to be way more notes than I'm used to, and you know, there's no way around it. You gotta do it. You can't be like, I don't want all those notes. Like, even if you feel that way, because like, you got to do what the director wants at the end of the day, and I can do that. But I'm not looking forward to way more edits than I normally would be doing on an episode, and that is probably going to mean that I have way less time to work on Eldritchrune, the next one, which I have started. At least it's underway, but there's a lot left to go on it. So can't do my morning walks. Work had this big shakeup. So I'm going to have to do, like, work is going to kind of kick my ass for the next few weeks. So, not great, not great. At least it's beautiful spring outside, and at least Alfie's is cute, but bleh, bleh, bleh. Noelle's looking at me like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. So, sorry about the rant there, just, bleh. It's a little weighing on my mind. I'll get by, I always do, but it's not going to be fun for a while. It's going to be a little testy. If someone buys you Tomodachi, you won't play it. Like, again, all the stuff I've seen for Tomodachi Life looks cute. Looks very cute. I begrudge no people for playing Tomodachi Life. I'm like, oh, that's really sweet. I'm glad they have, like, a high level of customization and all that stuff. It was really cute seeing, I guess I saw something on Tumblr of, like, a black gamer who was, like, going through all the, like, they actually have, like, black hair options for once, like, a good amount of them, and was excited about that. So I'm like, oh, yay, that's sweet. And again, you know, there's a lot of customization. I've seen people do some crazy things with, you know, I guess there's pixel painting options, stuff like that. So that is cool. It's not my style of game. I'm just not really big on dress up and life sim kind of stuff. I don't really care about that. Like, when I play Animal Crossing, I am mostly playing like, my primary, like, fun part of Animal Crossing is, like, the bug and fish collecting. Like, trying to actually, like, decorate my house and stuff, I get kind of frustrated and I don't really care about it. Trying to, like, dress up my character, don't care, kind of stuff. Aside from, like, a few villagers where I'm like, oh, I want this villager, like, I'm not super invested in what the villagers are doing. I like me a collectathon. That's where the tisms come in. But, so Tomodachi Life does not work on me, because I'm like, oh, okay, it's like dress up and life sim. That's neat. It's not my bag. But ah well. Not everything is for you. I also appreciate the fact that apparently, like, you can have, you know, whatever gender of characters you want do little romances and fall in love, because I didn't think that was possible in, like, the original version of it. Like, that was kind of a point of contention, was you could only do, like, straight romances. I'm glad they changed it so it's like, it doesn't matter, you can do whatever with your little guys, your little dolls. Do you want to come over and play dolls with me? Maybe that's my problem. Even when I was a little kid, I didn't like play with dolls. I had like mostly stuffed animals growing up, and I've still got stuffed animals. I like my stuffed animals, but I had like 2 dolls that were given to me, and I never played with them. I just hid them behind my bed because I didn't like dolls. These weren't even like scary dolls. These were completely normal, like sweet looking dolls. I just didn't want them. Amazing for crack ships. I imagine so. If you've got a crack ship that you're not gonna, you know, see in canon otherwise, you can make it happen. The one thing I saw, I probably mentioned this previously, like I do like the idea of like, you know, spooky jam jar kind of pairings and stuff like that, where I'm sorry, like, you know, Son Goku talking to Ursula K. Le Guin. I saw something about that that's like really funny. So I can see it from the position of like, you know, if I was still doing like a LJRP or DWRP, and like that's my chance to, you know, get our little pairings together in a game that would not be impossible otherwise, then I gotcha. Probably one of the most fun, like I did do some like you know, crossover pairings in RP back in the day. The one that I actually ended up having a lot of fun with another person was I was playing Wolf from the 10th Kingdom, and the other person was playing Giselle from Enchanted, and they ended up in a pairing, and it was actually really cute. Hello, thank you for coming. You probably missed my rants earlier. It's been a tough week, and it's gonna remain tough week for a long time. Life's not treating me great now, but we'll get by. Yes, the 10th Kingdom. I saw that on TV when it was airing with my friend. Like, my friend and I got like obsessed with it while it was out. Like, it's not a perfect show. Like, it has some things in it that the kids would probably call problematic nowadays. But it was a lot of fun. And Wolf was such a fun character. I think my friend had it on DVD for a while. I never got it on DVD, but we did have that. So I was really into the 10th Kingdom when that came out. It was super fun. And yeah, I played Wolf in some RPs, and he got together with Giselle from Enchanted. Again, extremely cute. I made some really good friends through RP. It was a fun time. I don't have time for it anymore because I have a job and, you know, too many personal projects I'm constantly heaping on myself. But RP was fun. That's why I don't understand, like, the whole, I'm going to RP with a chatbot. I'm like, that's not fun. The fun is that you have another person who's playing the other character, and you're like, oh, what are they going to do? How are they going to do stuff? It's so exciting. I don't want to bounce off of a boring old bot. I want to actually, like, play with a person. That was the fun of it. That's how I made some good friends. Anyways, if you haven't seen the 10th Kingdom, it's a mini-series from, I want to say late 90s. Was it late 90s, early 2000s? Really, really long back then. And it's pretty fun. I would recommend it. Again, a couple things in there that are a little bit problematic, including with Wolf, who I love to pieces. Wolf is a great character, but his whole deal is like he's like the fairy tale big bad wolf, and that includes being like a scary, like, stalker raunchy with girls. It's something, yeah, it has. Basically, I injured my foot again. I don't know how or why it happened. It just started hurting again in the exact same way it did last time. And I'm really mad because that means I can't walk on it for however long it takes to get better. And my primary method of, like, exercise is going out for walks in the morning and playing Pokemon Go. I go walk around the park and I catch Pokemon. That way I go out and get some nice fresh air and exercise. And I can't do that because I can't walk on this stupid injured foot. I have no clue what caused it. It just started hurting after a walk one day, and it's like the tendons are injured, so it's difficult to walk on. I'm really mad about that because this happened like at the start of the year, and it took me a really long time for it to get better. I had to use like a wheelchair at some points when we were going to some conventions. I'm like, I want to go with my friends to these conventions, but I can't be on my feet all day. So we had to like rent a temporary wheelchair for that. And I'm like, what's causing this? I have no clue what's injuring my foot. It just happens. And I'm really mad about it. So that's one thing. And then work is also being really tough. Our director got replaced very suddenly. So a bunch of stuff that was fine and, set in stone before is getting changed because a new director means that they want things done differently, especially in regards to like cameras and stuff that I do. So normally when I'm normally very fast with my work. I can get it done early. I am fast and good at what I do. But from the sound of it, because the new director wants things different, like there's going to be a ton of edits to the episode I'm currently working on. So I'm going to have way more notes than I normally do. I normally don't have that many notes because I'm kind of worker who's like, I'm going to get it done quick and I'm going to get it done right the first time to your liking. That's how I do it. And because all the priorities have changed, I'm going to get a ton of notes that I would not normally get, which means it's going to take way more time to get the episode done. I'm probably going to have less time, a lot less time to work on Eldritchrune for a while. Normally I can get through my work for my job pretty quickly and I'll have time for Eldritchrune. If I have a ton more notes, then I'm going to not have the time to work on Eldritchrune. And I'm going to fall behind on the one I'm currently working on, which sucks. And that's going to be that way for a few weeks at least while I'm working on this episode. I'm hoping by the time I get to my next episode, it'll be like, okay, I know what the director wants, the new director wants. I can get them, what they want the first time, as opposed to 10 million notes. But, it's just frustrating. So, bad week, and it's going to continue to suck for a while. So... Oh no, I'm sorry about your wrist. Please take care of it. Please take care of it. Do what I do. Do regular stretches. There's plenty of stretches out there. All that stuff. Make sure you take breaks. You really don't want to hurt your wrist that way. So, yeah, please take care of yourself. This is why I get up and stretch every half hour. Because if I don't, I will injure myself again. Ugh. And this isn't even so much a manager's thing. Like, supposedly this director is good. He's got a lot of experience working on the kind of show that we're doing. I kind of wonder if some of this is coming from, like, further up the chain. Because, I don't know. I don't want to get too much into, like, what show I'm working on, why they're making these decisions. Because a lot of them I don't know. They haven't really even told us why we had this director change. I can only guess. So I don't want to get too much into it. Just like the new director is not incompetent. He's very knowledgeable. He's very skilled. But I'm confused and frustrated as to why this change happened, and I don't even know. Again, they didn't really tell us anything. So I just hope we can get through it. Yep, Toby Fox. I'll hire someone to be my new wrist. It do be like that. It's not even a shake things up kind of thing. This is true of all directors. All directors have, things that they prioritize. And because they're the ones directing it, you're supposed to be following their vision, their discretion. So they have different priorities. They have different, things they want to see from the board artist kind of stuff. I don't think it's a change happening for no reason. But at the same time, it's frustrating because it's like, well, what was wrong with what we were doing previously? Because as far as I could tell, what we were doing was fine. It was approved by the client and everything like that. So basically, my question here is who is unhappy with what we were putting out? We have a very strong board team. We have a very strong supervisors, all that stuff. I get along pretty well with all my coworkers. Our team is quite good. So, and it seemed like the client was happy with it. So what I'm confused about is, again, who in this process was unhappy, or at the very least, who in this process was nervous about what we were putting out and felt like we had to change it. And I just don't know. It might not even be the director. It might be somebody else. So, it's just frustrating. And all my coworkers and like supervisors are also frustrated because they don't know either. For some reason Twitch doesn't count. Huh? Why not? That's weird. Twitch, what are you doing? 'Cause yeah, I saw you in Friday's stream. That should count as a watch streak. I thought as long as you like showed up, it counted. Heck, you commented, so that should also count. I don't think it makes sense to be like, oh, you have to watch the whole time, because usually you just have to tune in. Keeps disconnecting you? I hope that's not on my end. I hope that's just on Twitch's end. My internet should be pretty decent. I have been wondering if it's everywhere. Okay, because like we got fiber internet installed in my apartment building. So I'm kind of wondering, like, should I switch to fiber or something? It would mean, like, changing my internet provider, which is kind of a pain in the butt. And I don't really have any complaints about my current internet provider. It is the same kind of thing where, like, it's a near monopoly. Not quite as much. There's, like, 2 or 3 companies, but you can choose one or the other. But, like, my current internet is pretty decent. My upload speed is not great, but my download speed is fine. And I don't use the Wi-Fi for, like, my main computer. I'm using a LAN cable. It is a problem with my TV sometimes, because my TV is connected via the Wi-Fi. And that doesn't always work, so I'm like, maybe if I got fiber, the TV would work better. But I'm just debating if I want to go through the process of changing my internet provider, because, you know, change is hard. Fiber... No, well, that is true. That is true. No, I should actually be having more fiber. I have thought about that. Oh, that's frustrating. Ugh, about the chat. That's stupid. No, I've thought about changing for internet fiber, but no, you should actually be... No, don't eat the fiber optics. Different fiber. But no, you should actually be having more fiber in your diet. I need more fiber in my diet. I've actually been thinking about that, because I saw that Tumblr post about colon cancer, you guys. Please eat your fiber. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta make sure I have enough fiber. I think I'm doing okay-ish. I could probably be doing better. Because, you know, fiber's hard to eat. It's not super tasty. Become shark, eat the internet. That's the goal. That's what I should do. Chew on the fiber optic cables. Bah, bah, bah. Shark's like, I must destroy the internet. Even though that obviously is not going to do it. But, yeah, no, please eat fiber. I think it's also, yeah, because people are pushing a lot of protein right now. Though you have to have lots of protein. High protein diet, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, protein is important, but fiber is actually really important for your gut. And it's getting harder and harder to find decent sources of fiber. Especially for me, a picky eater. I don't like beans and lentils. I'm not, that's a good source of fiber, and I don't like them at all. So that narrows my options. You know, I try and get some in, you know, breads and cereals that have high fiber. Vegetables have some high fiber. What else does? I know I've probably seen little graphics that have high fiber. It's also probably important for me because I got like blood sugar issues. Like, it's not diabetes or anything like that, because I've gotten tested for that multiple times, and they're like, no, your blood sugar is you're not diabetic or anything like that. But if I am in a situation where I'm like, okay, if I do not eat regularly or get sugar regularly, I will get bad very fast. So it's still something like that. And that is probably the kind of situation where that would be helped a lot more if I had more fiber. So it is something I'm thinking about more, but I'm not certain the best ways to add more fiber to my diet. Like I did for like my daily snack, I was having like chips and salsa for a snack, and I switched that out. I'm like, oh yeah, it's probably too much sodium. So I switched that out for an apple, and that's, you know, got some sugars in it, but it's also got less sodium and more fiber, so that's probably good. But I would have to think of other ways to do it. And I blab about dietary stuff. You have to think about this when you get old. It's so annoying. I'm like, I just want to have yummy snacks. No, I have to think about if the snacks are good for me or not. Can't have whatever dairy I want anymore. It's gonna yell at me about that. Body's like, what are you doing? You can't have that milk. And I'm like, but I want it. Alright, oh, we've already blasted through this page. Rudy is having a bad day. Probably a worse week than I've been having. By a considerable margin. And the well's blasting through that person. It's Rudy. I'm wondering who that person is. She's like, this is what I think of your Rudy night. I probably gotta take my stretch break soon. But we can poke on to the next one a little bit. The average Rudy Nighter versus the average Jess Nighter. Pretty much. I don't know why that particular theory annoys me so much. It just hits me the wrong way. Does she know she's... Okay, well, you'll find out. You'll find out whenever this gets released, which will be at some point in the future. That's why I gotta keep working on it, but... That would be telling. That would be secrets. You'll find out eventually. Internet outage? This is for Twitch, or is this something else? Oh, for Deltarune. I'm guessing that's part of, like, a wider situation where the town itself is being, like, cut off from the outside world. Why? We don't know. Because it's not just the internet. It's also like, okay, the TV is not running new things anymore. The mail is not getting through to, you know, the Boom family, where they used to get letters about Garrison. Those letters stopped recently. So I suspect it's part of a larger thing where the town is being cut off from the outside world. Is this being done on purpose by somebody in the town? Is Carol doing it? Is Gaster doing it? We don't know. We haven't heard any signs that, like, the mayor is trying to restore these things. Like, okay, if the internet's down and, you know, mail and stuff is not getting through, is this something she's working on, or is she only focusing on the festival? Because if she's not trying to get that fixed, then it kind of seems like she might be in on it. How's Asriel gonna get home? I mean, you can cut off stuff like the mail and the TV and the internet, but I'm not sure how they would stop Asriel from getting back home. We stop the buses. I'm trying to do some prophecy stuff. We don't have time for your weirdness, Gaster. Also, hello, thank you for coming. There is police tape on the roads, but I actually always figured that police tape is blocking off where the festival is going to be. Because while it is going to take place in the town, I imagine we're going to need a big spot for, like, booths and, like, you know, our big Ferris wheel and stuff like that. My assumption is that that is what the police tape's blocking. And that once the festival starts, that's going to be lifted. Bus is like, oh no, police tape, we can't go any further. We gotta turn around, folks. Bye. I have to be like, just let me off here. I'll walk. Okay. I need to take my stretch break. Well, then we'll taking big breath. Okay, stretch break time. This is why it's important to take care of your wrists. It's just Jimmy Hot Pants being like, must make sure festival is perfect. Nothing will deter me from setting stuff up. Ice Wolf will make perfect festival. Yeah, somebody must be setting all that up. What are they doing? Well, I'm sure they took a break when it was raining. Everybody's like, it's raining, everybody go inside right away. We're in that what's that one game that was trying to be Twin Peaks and it wasn't. And they'll all remember my name. I'm suddenly forgetting the name of that one game. I keep wanting to say Red Dead Redemption, and it's not that. But it was like, this guy was like, I want to make a game about Twin Peaks. So I started making a game about Twin Peaks, and like, you can't do that. I was like, fine, I'm going to make Twin Peaks anyway, and just not call it Twin Peaks. And then it gets flooded during the roaring, and they're devastated. No, all their hard work. Meanwhile, that one little monster like splash in the rain is like, hooray, rain, splash, 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 splash. And I don't care about the flooding. Aquatic themed carnival game owner. Now everybody can try and catch my little fish. I haven't done a proper carnival game stuff in a while. I hope we get to do some of that at the festival. Like, I don't know how they'll have this in where, like, you know, we as the player are actually playing the game. But there's probably a way to work it. Where the soul's like, I'm aiming for that bottle, throw a ring at it. Get me the giant plush unicorn. I'll see if that comes to life in a dark world. We gotta have at least have a little bit of festival fun before the horrible things happen. At least a little bit, because then otherwise it's not as impactful. We gotta get the Ferris wheel ride in before the Ferris wheel is drowned under literal and metaphorical sorrows. Even if the Dark World one is bigger and cooler. And actually moves. Hello, thank you for coming to the stream. I'm taking my stretch break real quick. I'll be back with more. Yep, we gotta have the gayness. Exactly. That is what I'm expecting. It's gonna be a situation where we're gonna have a really big high. Really big Suzelle high where like they kiss and stuff like that and, you know, reveal their feelings, etc. And then something will happen and it all comes crashing down and then we have to deal with that. And I will be right back for one more stretch and stuff. Milfies, you're stretching. You're stretching. I'm back. No, I don't think lizards can get carpal tunnel because I'm pretty sure their joints work very differently than mine do. They have way more flexibility around the wrist and fingers. Do a glitch with very specific steps. Ah, sheesh, that sounds hard. No! That is difficult. That's why I'm not quite sure if I could ever do speed running and be like executing these really like fast tricks. Especially having to do it over and over again. Very, very, very tough. Does take skills. That is how she builds so fast. She's smart. Alfie, are you smart? She says, no, I'm itchy because of my shedding. That's why she's out and about right now, because she's probably itchy. Yeah, Alfie's at the very least in canon, she's pretty dang good with robotics. I would like to see her a little bit more in Eldritchrune. It feels like she's her character has kind of gotten not as fun in Eldritchrune because she's just not a very good teacher. I want to see the stuff that she's good at. We haven't seen much of that yet. Oh, I see. That's all fair. Yeah, I would not want to be paying like real money for game resource either if I could avoid it. That's how they get you. Like, oh, you want this thing? Well, you can either wait forever for it or pay money for it. I don't care for that. Not a great mechanic in my opinion. Yeah, that'd be neat. I hope she has some kind of cool thing at the festival. Let's see some of the hometown characters, you know. Show off other sides of them. We don't even know if she like built stuff in this universe or anything. We know that she's into like, you know, cartoons and stuff and anime still. She's a nerd. But does she build her own things like she did in Undertale? Oh no, don't abuse your fingers, don't do it. It's not worth it for that. I know, it's so maddening. It's everywhere. That's why I'm like, probably why I'm so invested in Eldritchrune and stuff. I'm like, oh, thank God, no microtransactions, no loot boxes, no terrible, like, you know, predatory mechanics. It's just the game and the narrative. It's really hard to find games nowadays, at least in the AAA space or the non-indie space, that don't have that kind of like predatory monetization. And she is the Mettaton robot body. What a twist. She would be good at a Lego club. I want to join a Lego club. Do those exist in real life? I miss Legos. Legos are so expensive is the problem. Yeah, quit your job, Alfies. You're not good at teaching. You're not good at it. You're like, okay, I'm scared of my own students and don't want to actually, you know, teach anything. No, you can't do that, Alfies. Alfie's Lego Club. She'd be so cute. Oh, I do have a local library. I wonder if there's a Lego club at my local library. I know there's I'm sure there's probably a lot of like, you know, actual social things outside. Whenever I go around the park and on Sundays, which I can't do anymore, there's like a big group of LARPers that always show up in the same place, and they got like the costumes and the foam swords and all that. It's like a big group of LARPers. So I know that there's like a LARPing community that's active nearby. Even though LARPing, it does not interest me. That indicative that there are lots of like nerd clubs around. Even got a replacement? No. Yeah, that's probably true. Birdley, maybe it would have been Birdley's mom, and she's not there or whatever. I guess it is harder to create artificial lag. Garrison's dust on the desk. No. Imagine that happens. Like, this corpse is going to teach your class now. Indicative of, indicative of thriving ecosystem. Exactly. Heck, one day I was there on a Saturday and there's a big group of furries, and I'm like, good to know that the nerds are out in full force in the city. We got LARPers, we got furries. Healthy ecosystem. I was probably thinking if I looked for it, I could probably find nerd groups to join. I'm just so much of I gotta work on my own projects and hold myself up in my own room doing it, and for better or worse, that's how I be. I've kind of always been that way. But I know it's good to be social sometimes too. I want to go swimming again. Speaking of like exercise and being social, I'm kind of craving going swimming. I like swims. Chatter 7 in the group project that Chris and Susie don't. No, that's our project now. Our project is Dark Fountains. We studied them extensively. We'll never find out what their group project is. The real group project was love. It was the friends we made along the way. Why is there a bunch of straw in your mouth? You're not a horse, or are you? Yeah, I'm such a homebody. I'm the kind of nerd. I'm the kind of like loner nerd who needs like one of those rare nerds that's like outgoing to actually like join groups for me, and then I like join another person's friend group by proxy. That's how it's been throughout my life. Is that in order for me to actually like find a group of friends, I need like a friend that is also into the same stuff I'm doing, but is actually like way more outgoing and social. And then like they'll introduce you to their friends, and then that's how you make new friends. You gotta have the one social nerd. That's how I've gotten by in the past, is I find like the one social nerd who will actually get me to I need the extroverted nerd to do stuff. Oh shoot, I screwed this up. Hold on. Open please. There we go. Yeah, adopted by the extrovert, exactly. I do admire the nerds that can be like properly social. Get out there and do stuff and meet people, and they drag you along. And it's like, I am having fun. I just have to have somebody do this for me. Oh no, your pool's been broken? Oh no. Ugh. Yeah, I don't have my own pool. I would need to go to a public pool, which is fine. There are some decent public pools around, but then I gotta pay a little money to go and all that stuff. They're always very crowded because there's a lot of people in the public pool. But I do miss a good swim. I wish I had some public pools that were a little bit closer. The one I like going to is like a bit of a drive away as opposed to a walk, but go with a bunch of friends and it's pretty fun. Everyone knows that Kirsten is cool as fuck. True. Susie, correct. Ambivert. I think in truth that's kind of like most people. We all just have like different tolerances of like being social in public and stuff, and like some people have a really high tolerance and some people have a really low tolerance, etc. But there's never like, this is how extroverts are, this is how introverts are. Like, curse you binaries. Just me, I am the kind of person who's like I'm not good at initiating that kind of stuff myself. I usually need somebody else to go out and do it for me. And even then, I don't like having plans sprung on me very suddenly. I'm like, please tell me like 2 weeks in advance if we are doing a major group thing so that I can like mentally prepare myself and be like, okay, in the 2 weeks we're going to do, this big group thing. We're going to go out and be social. And if I prepare myself, then like I have fun. I'm not like standing around the whole time being like, I wish I was home. Like I do have fun as long as I'm properly prepared and, doing something I'm interested in. Like, yeah, give me 48 hours warning. Don't spring it on me because then I'm like, no, I was going to do something. Yeah, that's another thing. Joining a group on your own it sucks. It's so hard. Because then you absolutely feel like the odd one out. And it's like, oh, these people already have like, a dynamic established. Oh, it's time for is it time for a sketch? Oh, kids. Okay, let's see what we can do. You can't just say per chance. Does she even grade papers properly? Like, Alphys, please find a new job. Okay. A little young Susie. She's got her bow. She's probably pulling on Ralsei's ear here or something. Pay attention to me! Baby Susie. Also, congrats on finishing the line art. He's doing his best. It's hard. Yay, Susie and Lancer. We love us the bouncing boy. Little baby Chris. He's like grabbing his nose or something. That's why I don't go to Denny's anymore. They don't even have Denny's. I guess if they have QC that counts. But I wouldn't call her diner a Denny's. I haven't been to Denny's in a while either. I mean, not that that's too terrible a thing, but sometimes it's fun to have some cheap pancakes. Yeah, QC's is probably better than a Denny's, to be honest. At least gave Susie a really nice sundae. Elsie's like, I can do it. Alright, yeah, Devil Horn headband. I wish we knew like the exact ages when they got that. But that's probably going to stay vague forever. I gotta fill this space eventually. Alright, here we go. Yeah, let's slide you in right there. Adorable! The cutenesses! Alright, we are back to the horrors. From the cuteness to the horrors. Back and forth we go. Ah, yeah, that's the tough spot. When you have a really good local place and everybody's like, oh, we gotta go to the really good local place, and well, guess what? Everybody's at the really good local place, and good luck finding a spot at the really good local place. I'm not sure what I got around here that would count as the really good local place. Most of what's around here is chains, because I'm kind of in the city-ish area, so there's not as much, single local things. But I do know where my parents are, there is a local seafood place, like basically a little shack, and it's really good. You know it's really good because it's pretty much like on the ocean. It's like right there on the ocean, like little seafood space. And that place is always busy. It is hard to find. There's always like especially during peak weekend hours. There's always a line out the door for very fresh, very good seafood. But that's the first example that comes to mind of like local food place that's always busy is that seafood spot. I'm not sure about where I currently live would count as always busy local food space. Because again, most of what's around where I am is chains. I do like me some seafood. I like salmon. I love me a fish taco. Shrimps are pretty good. Love fish and chips. Usually when I go there, I get the fish and chips. Because they got a really good fish and chips. Again, it's super fresh. Like fresh squeezed local lemonade, stuff like that. Now I want some fish and chips from that place. Gosh darn. Like, I'm not the biggest seafood person. Like, I'm not into lobster or octopus or anything like that. I like some fish. I like some shrimp. Pretty basic. Again, I like me some salmon, tilapia, mahi-mahi, or whatever. And even then, mostly like a saltwater fish. Like, I'd had some catfish one time, and it was good, but I got stomach ache after that. I got kind of sick from that catfish. So after that, I was kind of I don't know if I want catfish anymore. It was probably just way over fried or something. It was probably just heavy fried food did it, but I just kind of associated catfish with tummy troubles after that, so I haven't had catfish since. You can often find really, really good foods there. Because if you're not worrying about oh, I got to do all this stuff for the chain, then your focus is just on what you're actually doing, which is making food for a set amount of people. You can't really scale up from that, and then it just happens to be really good. You're always making a profit, basically. Sometimes it is better to not scale up. Trick to eat crabs? No, that's not fun. I don't think you should be tricked into eating anything. For one thing, you don't know what people are allergic to. For another, just be honest. I don't understand the point of tricking people into eating a certain food. That's just no, not great. Especially since it's often for malicious reasons, oh, you asked for sugar-free, but I put sugar in your soda, you can't tell the difference. Well, they might be diabetic, dude, you don't know. Or these people are way too obsessed with gluten. Well, they might have celiacs, you don't know. Aha, I made this, Muslim person eat pork. Isn't that funny? It's no, it's not. Stop that. Don't mess with people's food. Food is a very personal thing, I would say, for most people, and it's not really cool to mess with that because you think somebody else's, tastes or choices or requirements are stupid. Mexican. Yeah, there's not much good Mexican where I am. Little too far from Mexico for that. I don't have any food allergies either that I'm aware of, but I am a very picky eater. But regardless of people's reasons, whether they're allergic or they're picky or, you know, they're doing it for religious or, you know, personal reasons, like, just don't mess with people's food. Don't do it. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get good Mexican food from, like, Texas and California. The places that are next to Mexico tend to have good Mexican food. I mean, obviously, if you want the authentic Mexican food, you're going to go to Mexico, but I've never been of like, oh, you know, this isn't real Mexican food or this isn't real Chinese food. It's like, yeah, because we're not in Mexico or China. We are in a different location with different resources available. Oh, yeah, that's going to be hard to find different authentic Mexican in Australia. I'm sorry. No, 10 Spanish speakers. Are they even speaking, you know, Latin American Spanish or Spain Spanish? Because those are like different kinds of Spanish. It would be useful to know Spanish, though. I took Spanish in high school, and my Spanish classes did not go well for a couple of reasons, and so I've, like, forgotten a lot of it. 9 of them are Spanish. Yeah, so they're speaking Spain Spanish, not Latin American Spanish. You're not making real Mexican food. Yeah, like, come on. Silly. Honestly, I think you get some really neat things when basically, you know, if you're an immigrant in another country and you're like, oh, I want to make, you know, this food I had in my country, but the resources I have available here are different from my own country. What can I do instead with what's available? You can get some really cool things. You can get some really tasty things, actually. Like, there's this one dish, oh good grief, I can't remember what it was, but basically it's like a combination of Mexican and Korean cuisine, because there were, like, Mexican and Korean immigrants in the same location in, like, California who had access to certain foods that they didn't have in Korea or Mexico, and they made, like, this really tasty kind of combination dish. Oh, it wasn't good? Oh, that sucks. That's yucky. There is some really good, basically there's not really good Mexican food here, but there is a lot of pretty good Chinese and Japanese and Korean food here. Oh my goodness, a 20 stream streak? That's so long. Thank you. Goodness gracious. Thanks for watching so many streams. Holy crap. Yeah, a lot of good Chinese and Taiwanese, Korean, Japanese food up here. Very tasty. Which is fine by me, because I do love me all those foods. I saw this one post once on, like, my friends list, another social media site, where it's like, you can tell what kind of white person they are by what kind of spices they have in their cabinet. And it's like, do they have, are they a Mexican food white person or a you know, Asian food white person? What kind of spices do you have in your cabinet? I'm like, oh, I'm the Asian food white person. Based on what spices I got. Red meat for filth. And they're trying to work out, I'm pretty sure I'm an Asian food white person. Most of my family is a Mexican food white person. And I'm pretty sure that gets different wherever you are in different countries. What are the requisites? I mean, I guess it depends on what kind of spices you got. Like, I got a lot of ginger and garlic. I go through those pretty quick, plus red pepper. So I think that's what would qualify me for Asian white person, or Asian food white person. Let's see, what spices are you using in Mexican food? A lot. I imagine there's some cilantro going on there. That's the problem. I'm not sure because I don't have a lot. I don't make a lot of Mexican food in my house, so I don't have a lot of spices you would use for that. Maybe cumin? I do have cumin, but I don't use cumin that often. Like I want to say paprika, but like a lot of cultures use paprika. As far as I'm aware. I'm pretty sure you use that in like Italian food too. So I guess like you can have a wide variety of spices. It's like which spices do you go through the most? Like which do you use a lot? And like for me, I go through garlic and ginger pretty quickly. Also paprika and go through quite a bit of parsley. And I do like cumin, but I haven't used cumin that much. Not as much as I used to. Yeah, then yeah, you're an Asian food white person. if you got a lot of garlic and ginger and red pepper, then probably that. Meanwhile, Noelle's like, I'm a human blood type person. Spicy human blood. I don't know, does human blood count as spicy? I've never tried it, so. Yep, there you go. Then Asian food white person. Yeah, definitely. I think one, it's what's available to you because there's a lot more Asian food available to me than Mexican food. But like, I go visit my folks, my family, and they've got like Mexican food spices, so that they are a Mexican food white people family. That's also because they live close to where a lot of Mexican food's available. So it's logical. And even then, it's like, at this point, it's so hard to tell, like, oh, this is authentic, Asian cuisine, and this is authentic Mexican cuisine, blah, blah, blah. Like, tomatoes are like a staple of Italian cuisine now. Tomatoes are not native to Italy. They imported those from the States. The tomatoes come from here. And, same with, we've back and forth with a lot of stuff, like, a lot of Asian countries did not have cheese at first. Now there's a lot of cheese used. Or actually, no, Mexican food too, imported cheese. Wow, we found all these cool foods from around the world. Let's use them. At the very least, I'm glad we do live in a world where we get to have access to foods from all around the world. Because, like, back in ancient times, your choices probably would have been a lot more limited. You would have had what's, available in your region, and that's pretty much it. Honestly, I probably would have gotten by okay. I'm fine eating the same food over and over, but it is nice to have a wide variety to choose from just in case. Yeah, regardless of region. Like, no matter what region you're in, you're gonna have some deficits. Because some places just, did not have these spices, or they did not have that kind of grain, or this vegetable. Or access to dairy, or certain kinds of dairy and stuff like that. Some people didn't have this kind of bean. Etc., etc. What? Oh, that's weird. That's pretty long ad jail. Twitch, if you're going to put people in ad jail, you should at the very least make sure you're not cutting them off during the actual stream. That would be nice, please. Please do that. Were they advertising Mexican food to you in the street, in the ad jail? Did they hear me talking about it, like, go get Taco Bell? Which is not really Mexican food, but But in general, fast food is like a separate thing from like even immigrant food in general. Fast food is its own beast. Its own eldritch beast, even. No, that's smart. Block the ads from your memory. Yep, fast foods. Speaking of beast stuff, I did watch that, all the Dan Olsen videos about the Mr. Beast games. And woof. Again, I find it really interesting this guy's asking, how do you create fandom? And it's like, you have like millions of bajillions of followers and you don't have fandom. There's just something about that is extremely telling. Bread bowls. It's extremely cathartic, yes. It's like, thank you. I knew I didn't like this, and now I have very good reasons why I didn't like this. Thank you, Dan. Jimmy was born without a soul. You can see it in his eyes. Soulless Jimmy Beast. Glad that ain't me. Thanks for watching this so we don't have to. Wait a minute, no! That's somebody else. Only 1 million subscribers? You didn't even need to do that, dude. You can get 1 million subscribers without giving up your soul. Hello, thank you for coming. I'm just sorry, you're just arriving as I realized I need to take my stretch break. Well, Noelle trots on. I'm doing a little My Little Pony trot away from the murders. Hooray. But thank you so much for coming. I hope that things are going well for you. Big Noelle. The biggest Noelle. They gotta add that to the meme of like, how do you draw Noelle? Sprite accurate? Actual deer? Anime girl with Rudolph nose? Stupid? Or big? Yes, Noelle's in the light world. Having herself a nice trot. We are tackling stuff from the ending today. Noellezilla, she and Susie together get to be kaiju. Remember I did like a doodle ancient times ago of like Susie is, Susiezilla, and then Noelle got to be Mothra. The lesbian kaiju. No, Susie is Susiezilla. She says this. She is not monkey. She is big lizard. Can she use Ice Beam? Noelle, yes, she can. In this case, we would just call it Snowgrave, I guess. Or Snow Gaze. But, yes. She hit things with Ice Beam and they die. Or they get frozen. Which actually happened in the last comic. That's Ram. He got Ice Beam. Chris's Monkey Studio Association. That's the problem with being human, is that your closest cousin is monkey. You gotta deal with it. We haven't really seen any monkey monsters, have we? I might get a little too weird, too Planet of the Apes or something. Dr. Zeus, Dr. Zeus. Dr. Zeus, Dr. Zeus. Whoa, Dr. Zeus. No, I don't think we've had any monkey monsters. Might be cute to have, like, instead of like a great ape monster, like a gorilla or whatever, you could do like a, a lesser monkey, like a lemur monster. Nice long tail. I don't think I would count Jevil as a monkey. He just looks like a jester. He looks like a little jester guy. I never painted him as monkey. Even with the J-tail. Gorilla. Gorilla. So, yeah, no monkey. No monkey monster. I guess it really does hit that, like, uncanny valley where, like, an ape is, you know, it's just a little bit too close to a human because they're our cousins and stuff, so, yeah, I don't know how you could do, like, an ape monster without it just being, like, Planet of the Apes. I don't know. I don't think monkeys are appealing to a lot of people for that reason. It's a little bit too uncanny. Some people do like monkeys, but they're a little tough to put in. Like, you don't, I guess, because you don't see that many monkey furries either. They're a little bit too humanish. All right, I'll be right back for one more stretch and orange juice and stuff. Alright, I return with my orange juice. Yep, everybody playing Tomodachi except me. That's okay. It looks cute even if it's not for me. I'm glad folks are having fun with it and playing with dolls. That's the real truth of it, is that, like, adults like to play dolls too. Back in the info of Susie, and until Susie introduces a neighbor daughter, which implies Susie does have a guardian. Yeah, the ribbon thing. Maybe? Possibly? I know that, the ages for, the kids are pretty vague. I always saw, Frisk as around, like, 10 or so. That was always my guess, was that Frisk was 10. But haha, if that's a 6-7 joke, is that still a thing? I thought that meme passed. Are the kids still doing that, or is they moved on? But either way. Also, we don't know if Susie would be wearing a bow in Undertale. We don't see her at all. And keep her hidden from us. She's secret. It's not really a thing anymore? Okay, the kids have moved on. Man, didn't really have any staying power. It's not the same way, like 69, 420 does, all that stuff. The kids gotta have them funny numbers. The memes we don't get. I mean, yeah, that is another thing. Heck, I was thinking about that recently. I was trying to just describe something to like somebody on another social media. I'm like, oh, it's about 6 or 7 of this, and I'm like, can I say 6 or 7? Yeah, I guess it didn't really have any meaning. It was just like, I guess the delivery was funny. Funny delivery kind of thing, which is fine. Here she go. Here he stay. I'll go back in and fill in the ice stuff later. On a separate layer. We'll just focus on the main stuff today. Plus, I guess it's one of those things where, like, as soon as the meme breaches containment and, like, adults start saying it, then it's not funny anymore. You killed it. In order for the meme to be funny, the adults can't start using it. And then it's over. Gotta stick to them evergreen memes. I'm just too old to keep up with whatever's hot these days, so I'm like, whatever. My time has passed. I accept that I am not cool or hip with the kids, and honestly, I never was, so not really missing anything. Yeah, generation like Beta is gonna have to be the one that makes 68 funny, so we can just cover the full range of the 60s. Eventually, all the numbers, if we work hard enough, every generation will find a different integer of the 60s funny. I don't want to be the generation stuck with like making 61 funny. What's the least favorite 60s integer? I feel like it's 61. It was almost made funny? How was that one almost made funny? No, it is not referring to Delta in chapter 6 and 7. Although I wish they would give us some more info on that, please. Also, Toby, please release a newsletter soon, please. Please. I know it's probably just, waiting for stuff to get done, and then there'll be like a release date announcement. That's pretty much all they can do right now, but I need to know when chapter 5 come. So I can do a little days countdown thing. And also set aside time from work if I have to. I need time to play it and freak out. And have like my brain altered again. From the sound of it, our brains are gonna get totally altered. I'm gonna get shaken, shook up. Yeah, we'll have to see when the next funny number meme comes along. I will also not understand it. That's okay. I've always been desperately behind on like what's hip and funny, and I don't expect that to change in the future. Ah yes, at age 80 I finally understand the memes that are hip with the kids. Don't ask how I did it. Yeah, it's gonna knock me on my ass. For sure. No matter what, I'm sure I'm gonna come away like... Again, once the chapters 3 and 4 dropped and I played them like in a day because I just had to get through them as fast as I could. Even if I missed a bunch of stuff. I then like couldn't sleep like all night afterwards. I was just like up thinking about Susie Deltarune. I'm excited for that to happen again. Gotta rotate Susie Deltarune in my head 24/7 for like another 3 months. Alright, we're done with this part 5. We're on to part 6 now. We're catching up with Azzy. Yeah, it was so good. It was so dang good. Yeah, like I said last time, like I was nervous going into chapters 3 and 4 about what we might get. I'm less nervous now and I'm more excited. I'm excited for what we'll get. Even if it's going to destroy me, that's okay. Go ahead and destroy me, Toby Fox. Make the people happy. I don't know. Yeah, with life stuff currently treating me rough, I could use a happy news about the future. I still want it to come out in July. That would be ideal situations. Give me a birthday release, Toby. And my life is yours. And stuff. Mid-June. I hope it's not quite mid-June just because schedule-wise that's going to be rough for me. But mid-July. Perfect for me. Perfect. Yeah, I did miss a lot of stuff when I first played through because, as usual, I'm very bad at finding like the secret boss and stuff like that. I totally missed Garrison as the secret boss in my first playthrough. So I'm sure that's gonna happen again. I'm gonna be stupid and miss stuff. I'll try really hard to find it, but I expect I'll screw up. If I somehow find and beat the secret boss in Chapter 5 on my first try, then that'll be a miracle. Yeah, definitely having experience with RPGs, I think, definitely helps with it. High 5, Flower Shop Dark World, Asgore being involved with the boss, the festival, as we were arriving. Yeah, I'm scared of the secret person making bullet patterns. That is why, like, the only option I've seen floating around for the secret boss that I actually think has some merit is that the secret boss is going to be Toby's Toho OC in some form. And that Zune is coming in basically to, you know, guest make bullets for Toby's Toho OC. Which you gotta admit would be like a pretty incredible thing. Imagine like, you know, you make your OC for this game you love and then years later the creator of the game like makes your OC real. That would be crazy cool. So that's pretty much the only reason why, like, the one option I've seen. Like, most people are like, oh, you know, it's gonna be Woody the Cowboy Doll. It's gonna be another TV. It's gonna be, you know, Flowey. I'm like, no. The one option that I think has any merit is it's going to be Toby's Toho OC. Also, hello. Thank you for coming. Appreciate you being here. We are working on character-based stuff. Filling in characters. Oh, okay. I was like, is that name familiar? Solomons. I do recall you. Thank you for coming. Yeah, Alfie's fan magazines come to life. That's how we can get the Toho OC in. Oh, really? They're an acapella. They're a woman now. Good for her. This isn't Smooth McGroove. This is a different one. I know another artist that I was following for Undertale Eldritchrune music. They transitioned as well. I think it was Ace Waters. They're now Amy Waters. Still make really good music. Trans women make good art. Bryn Cortez? Okay. It's true. Trans people make really good art. In my experience. They're necessary. That's cool that it made you interested in RPGs, even if you hadn't been interested before. Like that's a sign of a very good game. Is that, like, it gets you actually interested in the genre. That's good stuff. Yeah, especially music. They make really good music. They're just interesting to talk to, interesting to listen to. I don't know what it is, but really good music. I'm sure there's other ones out there too that I'm thinking of. But I forgot. It's the dog! The pupper! And there they go! Annoying dog has to stop Asriel from crossing the street when MK is crossing the street. Don't do it! Monster Kid crossing. Yeah, I'll have to check out and see what other work they've done. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna do all these fills. Yeah, stuff for Chapter 5. I do think Asgore is going to be in some setup with the boss, whether he or not is the boss. He'll be involved in it somehow. I do think Flower King Dark World is what we're getting. Definitely stuff at the festival. Asriel very likely to come home then. Dirge vibes. Is that the Sandworm Colossus? Because I think that's the only Colossus I can think of that, like, moves through the ground. Is that I don't remember all the Colossi names, but I, like, vaguely remember some shapes, and there's that one, like, long sandworm one where you have to, like, shoot its eyes out. Okay. I remember seeing some speedrunner play that. They didn't even bother with, like, the shooting its eyes thing. They, like, somehow were able to, like, get onto it without doing that part. Had the creepiest game over screen? What was the game over screen for that one? Well, every time it's just Wander dying in some way, right? Does it drag you under the sand? What's the coolest Colossi? The bird one is very cool. I like the big bird one. Heckin' scary to hang on to that thing. Also, that crab one's pretty neat. I tried to play Shadow of the Colossus. I couldn't finish it. It was too hard. I was sweating so bad that from, like, trying to It felt like I was trying to hold on to the Colossi myself, and I would sweat so bad that the controller, got all slippery. I didn't get very far at all. I didn't even finish the third Colossi. Or the third Colossus. So, I sucked. I sucked at Shadow of the Colossus. Beautiful game. I was not good at it. Yeah, I was too immersed. I was too scared to climb the big guy. Yeah, at least you got through over half. I think the one I got stuck on is the one where, like, you have to, bait him into throwing his sword at you, and then you climb up onto a sword, and then from the sword jump onto him and stab him. And that spooked me too bad, and I just fell off at that point. Oh, okay, I see. Interesting. We're just staring at you. We're just looking. I kind of wonder how they would have done, like, weren't they originally planning something like 48 Colossi? That's kind of a crazy number. I wonder if anybody will try and fan game their way into that. Like, I'm going to do the other, 32 Colossi or whatever it is. That's probably pretty difficult to program. Again, beautiful game. I could not finish it because I am not skilled. Love the soundtrack for it too. I think I got the soundtrack for it well before I even saw the game. It's very interesting, hearing the soundtrack for a game before you even play it, because you get all these weird ideas about what's happening in it before you even actually see it. This happened to me with a very obscure game that I kind of want to play now on stream. I don't know how I would do it, because I think it's only available for the Sega Dreamcast or something like that. I have a friend who has it, but basically when I was young, somebody gave me the soundtrack to Mr. Bones, which has an amazing kick-ass soundtrack. The soundtrack is just absolutely slaps. The game is really weird and bad and hard to play and stuff like that. It's clearly all the power for this game went into the soundtrack, which is kind of this blues rock kind of thing going on. But I kind of want to try the game anyway, even though it looks punishingly bad. Just because I heard the soundtrack first when I was a little kid, and I had all these associations with it, with the music I heard. I would imagine scenes and whatever and stuff happening with just from the music I heard. And then I saw the actual game on GDQ once, and I'm like, that's what's happening at this part of the music? It was totally different from whatever my brain came up with. Yeah, it might be a game to avoid. It's barely even a game. It's basically a mishmash of 12 other games. It's oh, we're going to throw a bit of asteroids into here. We're going to, do some platforming. Have another auto-scroller. Play Simon Says at this point. Really weird combination of stuff. There's one point in the game where it is third-person perspective from underneath the character. I don't know how else to explain this except that you're not looking from a top-down view. You're looking at a bottom-up view of the character running and trying to control them. And I'm who made this decision? Yeah, it might just be it's too old. Maybe it's some kind of thing I'll try on my own time if I don't have the pressure of having to do a stream for it, and I'll just be okay, let's give this game a try, and it sucks immediately, then no harm, no foul. But it might be too old to do proper. Very weird. No, it was not like an Action 52 thing. This was like, there was like FMVs in this. Like this wasn't like a pixel game. This was like, yeah, there's FMVs in this, and like weird rotoscoping stuff. It, like, again, this was on like the Dreamcast or whatever. So this was fairly advanced graphics. Just ridiculously hard to play. Oh, the entire game being mini games, yeah. But isn't the whole thing with like Action 52 is like those are all separate games? As opposed to like being one game that you play like 10 different ways. Yeah, developers have been pretty ambitious in the past. Like that's kind of what I thought Action 52 was. It's like they're all separate games, just a bunch of small games bundled together. This is like the same character, just like having entirely different mechanics in whatever chapter they're in. Something like that. Again, my main association with this game was I heard the soundtrack to it ages ago and had all these imaginings with it, because again, the soundtrack slaps. But the game, less so. I mean, heck, we're dealing with that right now on Blue Sky, of a game that looks like absolute crap, but like the soundtrack slaps with "It's Moonchild, whoa, oh, oh. You have the power to be his friend. It's Moonchild, whoa, oh, oh." That's been stuck in my head so much. Like anytime I see some Moonchild now, I'm just like, "It's Moonchild, whoa, oh, oh." The story is true. I'm glad that took off as a meme, but also now it's stuck in my head. On the full, there was 52 mini games. Ugh. Well, I feel like they should at least function. That's kind of an important part of them. Uh-oh. What? Uh-oh. You have the power to be his friend. Now I'm stuck on it again. No, Moonchild. We do have the power to be your friend. I think the lesson we've learned from this is if you want to find some absolutely kick-ass music, sometimes you gotta go to like really bad games that everybody forgot existed. Some way there's probably like some incredible art buried in like, you know, old Angel Fire and GeoCities websites and whatever. That's so hard to find. Oh, the ethereal nature of digital art. Also, what is my break time? I think we can do a little bit more. Yeah, see, there you go. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be surprised if Action 52 had some bangers. Dang it, Moonchild's stuck in my head. No, I knew this would happen as soon as I mentioned Moonchild. Now all I can think about is, whoa, oh, oh. You have the power to be his friend. Anyways, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you probably haven't been on Blue Sky recently, which is fine. That was the recent meme on Blue Sky. Well, I've seen it on Tumblr a little bit. It's broken containment a tad. Matt Furnace, interesting. We'll have to check that out. Many moons passed. Oh no, I'm still there. There's a Christian fan game of Undertale? And also, like, I find that funny because, yeah, they're not divorced in this game, and they're worse off for it. They forgot the load-bearing divorce, and that's why this world is so horrible, and it's gonna get them. I'm a little, like, as a Christian, I'm a little afraid of what you could possibly do in a Christian, AU that isn't just, like, the most cringe thing possible. I don't know, like, it's already got those kinds of values in it. It doesn't need a Christian retelling. The whole point is, like, hey, it's really important to be kind to each other. That the way you actually help people is, you know, through mercy. Like, it doesn't need a Christian retelling. The theme is kind of already there. Well, hey, they erase all the queerness. Well, that just sucks. So yeah, that is cringe and bad. that's cringe and bad. So it's almost like the writing is good already for a reason. I'll fine, get behind me. You will tear, again, as a Christian, you will tear these queer characters from my cold dead hands. It's very important. Oh, jeez. Well, we're gonna, you know, abandon the mission of the, you know, message of mercy is very important in order to, you know, have a happy ending. For culture warrior talking points. Stupid! What's wrong with Frisk? Is it because they're non-binary? Can we not have non-binary people? Is that not allowed now? Is there no genocide route in it? Even though the whole point of the genocide route is that you are choosing to do this, and you cannot choose to do, and like you cannot choose to do this at any time, and that's why it's bad. No, my they thems, get behind me. Get behind me. Oh my goodness, that's stupid. Oh my goodness, that's stupid. The whole point is that you, like, the reason we have, God gave us free will is that we have the choice to not choose violence, to choose a better path. There's no point to it if your choice is made for you. I'm going to hit people over the head with a theology book. Oh, that's maddening. Way to miss the point. Can we not call it like a... Can we not say that, oh, Flowey's going to turn into a god because there's only one god and it's not Flowey? Like, y'all, stop being so, like... You're so cringe. You're so... You know, not confident. No subtlety, please. Please, subtlety. You must learn it. You must. How have I never heard of this until now? I mean, maybe it's a good thing I haven't heard of this, because, again, the secondhand embarrassment just absolutely wrecking me. Also, once this page is done, we will, get that done. And I'll do a stretch. So, it's probably a good thing I never heard of this. I would just get mad. It's like a year old. I figured that would become one of those things that's like was at the start of the fandom and then kind of drops off. Why is that's not that old? That's weird. That's weird as heck. Christians try not to make cringe art challenge level impossible. Alright, it is time for my stretch break. Y'all gotta understand things like metaphors, please. Those are in the Bible, I promise. They're everywhere, in fact. Ugh. Yeah, that's weird. That sounds like one of those things that would have been, would have shown up in, like, really early fandom stuff. Subtlety, please learn it. Oh yeah, there's lots of that's why I'm a little surprised. There's lots of fan games out there. I'm sure it would not be hard to just like switch a bunch of text and sprites around in kind of an ugly fashion to be like, and then we put Jesus in here. Mid 2025, okay. We took this very interesting game about the choices you can make and you learning how to make moral choices, and we made it boring. Then again, I guess you don't gotta make a Christian fan game to do that. There are plenty of non-religious folks who would rather do that too. Subtlety? Things we have to wrestle with? Nah. Make it boring. Yeah, that's true. A lot of them are like, and then you have to fight Sans, and the battle pattern and the bullet patterns are even harder and deeply unfair, and his clothes are on fire, and he's angry, and at that point, I don't know, make a cool OC. At least like when Undertale Red came out, like that was a cool OC that did like really difficult bullet patterns. People liked that because it was cool. It was very cool. Red is cool. True facts. I don't know. That, like, I feel like making an Undertale fan game that criticizes backseating, that would be actually interesting. That'd be really tricky to do. But if you could pull that off, that would be like neat, actually. Yeah, we're talking about Red the character from Undertale Red. Which pretty much, like, that. I think that's probably... Well, actually, the creator who worked on Undertale Red, I'm pretty sure they're working on Eldritchrune right now. They're contributing bullet patterns because Red's battle had some really cool bullet patterns, including stuff like splitting the box and stuff like that, which the Knight does. Knight does box splitting bullet patterns. When Red the color shows up in Undertale, then the theorists get crazy. They get even crazier if it's pink and yellow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the creator of Undertale Red is on the Eldritchrune team right now. And they're doing bullet patterns and stuff like that. Last I heard, that is the case. So, pretty cool. Not only did they make a cool fan fight, now they also get to contribute to, like, canon stuff. Yeah. They, well, they're not new to it. I think they've been on it for a while. Like, again, the Red fight had box splitting attacks. The Knight had box splitting attacks. So I'm pretty sure they had some kind of hand in that. Oh, doodle request. Okay, I'll have to check that once I'm back from my stretch break, which I will be right back for one more stretch and etc., and then I'll be back soon. turn. Woo! Is my PNG tuber set too high or set too low? Let me adjust. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, it's a little bit. Let's poke that up. Okay, hopefully I won't be yapping through the music. Okay. Who is following you? Look out now. Okay. Should be better now. I had it set a little low. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's a My Little Pony thing. Pinkie Pie would not be Frollo. Incorrect. She would not be Frollo. Yeah. Alright, again, where I gotta fill this space somehow, but nothing quite fits there yet. I might have to arrange some stuff. Yeah, hopefully my PNG tuber is not going crazy now. I saw that. Okay, it was a joke doodle. Another AU. I figured I'm just being silly. I'm being a silly Betty. I watched this movie like 3 times in the theaters when it came out. Oh yeah, that looks traced. That's fine. Actually, what was pretty cool was I actually saw them at Notre Dame Cathedral. The Disney artists were sketching it for the movie, because I happened to be in Paris at the same time that they were preparing for that movie. So we saw them doing some sketches, and I did some sketches of Notre Dame. Obviously, those did not go into the movie because I was like 10 years old, but it was fun to do the same thing and be like, I'm gonna sketch Notre Dame. I'm 10 years old. My mom got a picture of all of us kids sitting around, and I think it was me and one of my other brothers was drawing Notre Dame, and then one other brother was just drawing whatever he wanted. Certainly, it's not a perfect movie, although the music is perfect. I won't hear anything about the music. The music was, incredible. But yeah, definitely a good movie to see in theaters. And at the very least, that one part at the end, where Quasimodo swings down into the square, when Esmeralda's burning at the stake, kind of thing, and sweeps her up, that big sweeping camera shot, that blew my mind as a child. We had not seen anything like that before in a Disney movie, and it just looks so dang cool. It still looks cool. But when I was a kid, that just absolutely gave me chills with all the Gregorian chanting in the background and stuff like that. What a cool shot. Also, I'm going to have to make her smaller. It's an extremely cool shot. It was they were really testing what they could do in terms of camera movement and CG back then. That and the the start of the stampede scene and the Lion King, where you see all the wildebeests heading over and stampeding down, and then you do that cool vertigo shot of Simba just looking up in horror. Oh, that was so dang cool. Do I have any plans for the summer? Play Eldritchrune Chapter 5. Hopefully stay employed. Go swimming. It's hard when you're not in school anymore. You just have to work. Don't have your usual things. Goats, 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 goats. And you can definitely tell my stuff's not on model. Disney has always been corporate. Like, that has not changed, really. But, it's especially bad now. Mostly in the sense of, like, where instead of making new things and promoting them, we're going to do 10 manillion gazillion live-action remakes, and I hate all of them. Okay, I hate like 90% of them, but mostly I hate them. I'm pretty sure my proportions for this are way off. Like, Disney has always been corporate, I think. People, like, have all these ideas about, oh, Walt was this, Walt was that. Walt was always a capitalist first. Like, if nothing else, I think, like, we just have to accept the fact that his biggest flaw was that he was a capitalist. He was all about, how am I going to, you know, market this and make money off of it. I'll make his tail a little bigger. Well, sorry about my badly proportioned goats. Is it true that Disney contracts stipulate they own all the artist's work regardless of whether it's during their work or not? I think so, but I'm not certain, because even though I have had Disney as a client, or, you know, I've worked for Disney as a client, I have not worked for Disney directly. I wonder if I can put this up here, actually. I have not worked for Disney directly, so I have not had that happen to me. Okay, I think we can put that there. We'll figure out something small to put there eventually. Okay. Goats, 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 goats. Gotta love some goats. Yeah, to the audience at least, the Renaissance wasn't corpo. But definitely behind the scenes. Oh, thank you. Again, I kind of work for Disney, but not really. I work for a different studio, but that studio is contracted by Disney to work on Disney properties. So right now I am technically drawing characters that are owned by the Disney Corporation. But I do not work for Disney. Yeah, pretty much. They do not have to pay my benefits. The government does that instead. Thank you, tax credits. Those are actually quite useful for making sure that we continue to get work. And I can pay my bills, and for that I am happy. Like, it could always be better, for sure, in terms of pay. But I think that is true, not just in my section, but like across the board, industry-wide, and multiple industry-wide. Yeah, stuff is always interesting in animation. Again, right now I'm thankful that very thankful that I am working, even if, again, work is going to be a little rough for a while. Could be a lot worse though. So I'm a little bit. I do complain, but I'm a little bit loath to complain because, again, it could be worse. And hopefully the problems that I'm dealing with work right now, they will not last forever. They will be settled at one point, and I'll get a bit more time back again. But it's just a tough transition period right now. And I do enjoy my job. I work very hard to, you know, do good at my job. I really I try and hit that, like, I really do try and hit that, like, triple threat, basically, of, like, I am fast, I am good, and I am easy to work with. I work very hard for that. By easy to work with, basically being like, you know, accepting notes, accepting criticism, not being like, I think I have to do it this way. Like, that's not my job. I'm not the director. You gotta do what's been asked of you. But at least, on stuff like Eldritchrune, I'm the boss. And I can decide what I want to do. So it's very nice to have that outlet of, you know, I can work on my own stuff on my own time and not have to worry about doing it, you know, to a boss's specifications. The only boss is me. And my own priorities. But because of my wrist, I can't just, you know, do it constantly. I have to be careful. That is the trade-off. And I got other stuff to worry about too. I got to do Patreon requests soon. Once those come in. I got Anthrofractal Weekly. Stupid fragile human body. It's so inconvenient. Stupid wrist. Stupid foot getting hurt. Can't do my walks. It's like I don't want like an AI to do this stuff for me because that sounds miserable. I want like a robot wrist that, you know, will not break down so easy. But therein lies the problem, is that there aren't really machines that can replace the human body easily. Like it can get by okay, but it's not better than the human body. I know, I'm so mad about my foot. I'm so mad. I don't even know what caused it. Or what is happening to it. It's just the same hurt again. I can't do my walks. And I really need to. I need to go to the mailbox and mail some stuff. I need to, what else? I gotta go get some crickets for Alfie's and stuff like that. I gotta go out and do stuff. And I'm like, I'm gonna do that with my hard foot. I know, I'm gonna have to hop on one foot. Oh, good grief. Mostly I just have to hobble. I gotta go mail my primary ballots, what I gotta do, which I worked on that yesterday for like 2 hours. That was like, when I'm done, emerges like covered in blood. I did it. I filled out my primary ballot. Roll like a monkey barrel. There we go. Rollerblading. I miss rollerblading. I used to do that as a kid. Honestly, what would probably be useful is if I got myself a bike. Because the bike wouldn't be so much like pressure on my foot. Because it's the walking, it's putting pressure on the ball of my foot that's the problem. So if I got a bike, it wouldn't be that bad. Hello, hello, thank you for coming. Azzy, he's yelling, hello! Actually, right now he's yelling at Bugger Pant. He's like, Burger Pants, don't die! Unfortunately, that might happen. Hello, hello. Booger Pants. I know, rip to Manure Pants. Sorry, Manure Pants. Bad things happen to you. And your job is literal shit. It's a Toby, true. The annoying dog has been following Asriel around. I'm probably not ever going to explain it. It's going to be weird and mysterious. And you'll wonder, what the heck is this dog know? More than you or I do. That's for sure. Burger Pant's shockingly difficult to, like, translate to humanness because, like, his faces are just so face. So I'm pretty sure Eldritchrune is diverging wildly from canon, so I don't think that's the reason. That's why I really want to finish Eldritchrune before Chapter 6, because I don't want those butting into each other. So, will I finish before Chapter 6? We'll find out. I don't know. Yeah, Stan Lee is just an MCU character. That's just how he is. He's still isekai'd into it. No, Toby, get out of there. You have a game to finish. He gets isekai'd into another universe, escapes it, and then as soon as he's out, he's like, well, it's time to play the maracas for a while. The game is still delayed because of maracas. Isekai'd into a fan comic of my video game? That's gotta exist somewhere, right? That's true. After Eldritchrune, he does deserve maraca time. True. He's like, I gotta play the maracas about this. How does one become like a professional maraca player? How much practice do you gotta do to be really good at the maracas? Mel Brooks is 99 is making Spaceballs too, huh? Huh? Spaceballs the sequel. Spaceballs the coloring book. People yearn for Blazing Saddles too, mostly. Actually, probably Blazing Saddles wouldn't work as well today. They're calling it Spaceballs the new one. Everything's a franchise these days, even the history of the world. More sequels and reruns. Like that one TV character from Undertale Yellow. I'm sick of reruns. Instead of Spaceballs 2, the search for more money. They found all the money now. Now they're just doing this to annoy people. Or at least to make a lot of chuds on YouTube mad. There's a black person in Star Wars. I'm gonna whine about this for 10 years. Pre-boot, reboot, remix, sequel. Say that to the tune of like Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. Pre-boot, reboot, remix, sequel. Prequel, franchise, live action, remake. Spaceballs the money. Spaceballs the theme park. Spaceballs the really expensive LARPing hotel that didn't even last a year. Spaceballs the immersion. Spaceballs the Lunchables. Spaceballs the Beast Games. Spaceballs the podcast. Spaceballs the grifter economy. Spaceballs now for outraged tourists. Yeah, exactly. They're gonna be complaining about that till the end of time. They're never gonna stop. And they're like, well, this will get some clicks. Give me my super chat bucks as I whine about this, please. I still haven't seen that movie. I guess I should sometime. It's not super high on my priority list. Spaceballs podcast. Spaceballs, the new Nebula original. Yeah, the behind the scenes stuff would be fun. Oh, is Kylo Ren. That is probably why I would struggle with it. I didn't care that much for Kylo Ren. I never quite got the interest in like Reylo when I'm like, but there's other characters right here. Also, from the side of it, I just don't like the fact that Finn was sidelined so bad when I thought that was one of the most interesting things about the first sequel movie was, oh, wow, cool, we have this stormtrooper who's defected and, you know, trying to join the the light side. Maybe he's force sensitive. How can he affect, the other people who are still stormtroopers? Like, that would have, yeah, Finn should have been the protagonist. Finn was the most interesting character to me. Like, Rey was great and all, but I was really interested in what Finn was going to do. Yeah, Stormtrooper Jedi. And, like, that could have gone some really cool, interesting places. And then, like, he was just kind of dropped, and I'm like, but Finn, he was the cool one. Like, they were all cool, but, yeah, no, a black person in my Star Wars. There's aliens in Star Wars. You can deal with a black person. My favorite, Raylo fucking dunks Kylo into a trash can. Oh, I can't remember when my stretch break is. I think I can still go a bit. Catalyzation point for the cultural right. Oh my goodness, yeah. Oh, that probably is the problem. That probably is the problem. Is like that, grifter types, right-wing chuds and grifter types absolutely latched onto that movie, but also the movie did a lot of things wrong because they didn't plan it. They didn't plan it ahead of time. They're like, we'll just make this up as we go. No! You can't do that with this kind of thing. Please, have a plan in mind. And one person undocumented wants to run away beside someone else, eager to become a hero because she had nothing would be great. Yeah, that would be great. Yeah. Like, Rey is important for different reasons, but yeah, like, somebody defecting from the bad side to be good, and then somebody, like, rising up from nothing to be good. Those are all cool ideas to explore in Star Wars. No, I only saw the first one. I need to see the other two. I just haven't gotten to it, because, again, it's not high on my priority list. So, I should at some point, but I haven't seen it. I have, like, a Last Jedi shirt I got for Christmas once that I wear all the time, and I haven't seen The Last Jedi. I just have this shirt. Yeah, from the sound of it, like, I don't think I would have hated The Last Jedi. I think I would have thought it was interesting and fine. And I think if they had, like, stuck to their guns and had a plan from the beginning of, like, okay, this is the direction that we want to go, instead of flopping around and, like, going wherever the wind blows. Like, you can't do that. Please, whatever you're going to do, stick to your guns about it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You can criticize Lucas, like, the guy is definitely not perfect. But he at least, like, had a plan and, like, themes he wanted to get across. I don't know if he was necessarily great at actually getting them across. I think a lot of that might have been, his editors doing a lot of that work. But, again, at least he was not, blown to the winds about what fans wanted. That's probably the reason why I'm scared to see it. I haven't heard very good things about it at all. Yeah, like, please, don't listen to the fans on this. Just do it. Like, the fans don't know what they want. That whole meme of, like, thank God none of you guys are making this series or it would suck. Like, for as much as I'm like, I imagine Deltarune's gonna go this way. I hope it goes this way. Thank God I'm not writing it. Thank God Toby is writing it. You gotta let an artist, do their thing. Otherwise, it's just gonna become corporate nonsense. Because oftentimes when you have these corpo types at the helm, they don't know what they want. All they want is whatever will sell the best, and you can't really predict that. Yeah, having a single coherent idea and communicating that idea. If you can do that, you are a success, basically. If you've done that, you have succeeded at art, and that is harder to do than you would think. It is extremely hard to do on, like, a giant movie production where there's, like, 100,000 people all involved. Yeah. Making it different bad, yeah. Like you can't just do this thing for, like, oh, this is what the fans want. Because oftentimes fans don't know what they want. And even if they do know what they want, it's not that important. I know we talked about this previously, but, like, I think if a piece of art fails, it's not because you didn't do what the fans want, it's because you failed to communicate the idea you wanted properly, you set something up and then didn't pay it off. That is really difficult to do on its own. Wait, what happened? I did that wrong. Okay, now let's try it. And then I'll do my stretch break. What can Carol do in the Dark World? I don't know. I know what I'll say. I don't think Carol's going to be in the Dark World, which is weird. I feel like she would be, but I don't think she's gonna. I don't think we're going to see Carol in the Dark World. What we are going to see is me do a stretch break. Yeah. That's the whole problem. Is like that those grifters, they kind of amplified themselves and made it sound like, oh, we're the important people in fandom. You know, we're the whole of the fandom. Pay attention to us. When that's not what it was. Basically, a lot of these guys in charge got spooked because they cannot recognize the grifter space, the outrage tourist, the grifter economy for what it was. And panicked and are like, oh no, we have to make this stuff palatable to everyone. And you can't do that with art. It's just not possible. You're always going to piss somebody off. That is normal and fine. Well, I think she could fight with her katana in the real world, and that would be even more terrifying. Like, I can see Carol being a fight in the real world, and that will make it way scarier because the stakes are way different. No healing spells, you know, she's an adult with a weapon. That's terrifying. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, it's a rough situation. It's like, on the one hand, I understand that, like, you have to sell your game, you know, you need to eat, you need to make money, but what I don't think a lot of people who are in charge of the money realize is that you won't actually make good money by trying to appeal to everybody. It's just not possible. Chris just gives her like a Christmas present. She's like, okay, I won't hit you this turn. Fill her house with Gridmagus. Here's some batteries for those Santa things so they'll stop dying. A katana wielding boss. Oh, that's pretty funny. Susie provoking her. Ooh. Giant gift boxes. There you go. Pop out a little surprise. Yeah, I actually kind of doubt that we're ever going to see Carol in the Dark World, but I think she would be really frightening as a Light World villain or antagonist or just opponent of some sort. Remember to turn off the Santa. They waste batteries. Yep. Turning it off takes power for some reason. Ooh, 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 ooh. The main reason why I don't think we're going to see her in the Dark World is right now I am a pretty staunch believer in the idea that Gaster's list of names are people that we're going to see in the Dark World. And that, especially like the Susie, Noelle, Chris, one, they are, you know, the main characters, so they're extra special, but two, I think aside from the Knight, those are the three that actually create their own Dark Worlds. Which is why I don't think Asgore is going to make one. The evil mom of the Night Gang. The power of mom compels you. Oh, I'm sure that there are grifters that have targeted Undertale and Deltarune. The problem is that, like, there is no, like, nostalgia to attach to it. Part of the reason that the grifters latch onto Star Wars is that they will attach onto, like, the nostalgia. It's like, it used to be good, then they made it woke. Like, that was never the case with Undertale and Deltarune. They were woke from the word go. Yeah, they're not really niche. It's just, you can't complain about something being woke if it was always that way, because like there is no like, oh, they've ruined it for you kind of thing.
And also, like, it's pretty popular in the mainstream, so people are going to be like, people will catch on to the grift right away. There's nothing to latch onto there. They are legitimately great storytelling and great music. So, like, what can you complain about? Aside from the fact, ew, it's woke, but, like, normal people aren't going to care about that. Alright, I will be right back for one more stretch. Alrighty, I am returned. The fish and the lizard are in love. Oh yeah, Carol's a very fun character. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Grifters want to target something with nostalgic value because that's going to get to a bigger audience anyway. Like, people that care about wokeness, they're not going to play Undertale Eldritchrune in the first place. So there's no point. Alright, we're back to it. This will probably be our last session with our good friend Burger Manure Pant here. Surely nothing bad will happen to him. Surely he will be fine. No, he's just Burger Pants. Or in this case, Manure Pants. Shit Pants. Stuff, whatever name he has in this universe. So we got to give him, like, you know, ridiculous faces. Like, how do I translate the Burger Pants faces onto, like, a regular human guy? Harder than it looks. Yeah, exactly. I want my good story and good characters. And honestly, I appreciate the lesbian monsters a lot too. Like, give me more of that. I want my lesbian monsters. My monster lesbians. Bugger Pant. I'm gonna end up calling him that in canon now. Instead of just calling him Burger Pants, I'm gonna call him Bugger Pant. Bugger Pant does whatever a Bugger Pant can. Can he swing from a web? No, he can't. He's a guy. Ooh. Yeah, I am to see where Carol goes in the future. Hello, thank you for coming on our last session. As Birdly is carrying away a new snack. New snacks for birds. Maybe. Again, like I said previously, my previous thoughts were that, like, the demon that Chris summoned was us, the player, but I will also accept the idea that the demon that Chris summoned is Friend. I'm open to both those possibilities. So, I don't know. I don't know what Friend's deal is. What have we been talking about? Various things. Star Wars. Grifter economies. Weird fan games. The fact that my work's gonna suck for a little while, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Ain't no way around that. Ooh, Lego stop motions. Yeah, we were also talking about Legos. Gotta love Lego. Wait, why what? Which question are you asking? The grifter economy will not collapse, probably. Maybe. Why is my work gonna suck? Because they very suddenly changed the director. Like, our old director was let go and we got a new director. And because of that, the new director is going to want things done pretty differently. If you don't know, I am a storyboard artist. I work on cartoons. I draw storyboards for cartoons. And usually I am very good and fast at my job and I can get things done pretty quick without a lot of notes. However, because we have a new director who is going to want things done differently, for the episode I am currently on, I am probably going to be getting a lot of notes on my pitch tomorrow, and so I am not going to finish my work quickly. I'm going to have to do a lot of editing to it. And that is going to take time over these next few weeks, and I will probably have a lot less time to work on Eldritchrune as a result. So that's yucky. I am used to getting very few notes on my work. I can get through it pretty quickly, but because I was working from what a different director wanted, and now we have a new director who will want different things, I'm going to have to be doing a lot of editing, which is not very fun. There's no way around it. I just got to do it because you got to do what the director wants. But and mostly I'm just like, okay, please tell me what you want. So when I do the next board, when I do my next storyboard, I will be like, okay, I know the director wants this kind of camera work, these kinds of shots, this close or wide kind of thing. Like, if I know what's expected of me, then I can do it. The rough part is like, okay, I don't know what's expected of me right now. It's difficult. That plus my foot got injured again, so it's not been a great week. And the next few weeks will probably not be great either. Which is why I could use a newsletter. I want some good news from Toby, please, but we carry on. It's just a consequence of, like, this is a very sudden change while I was in the middle of my episode. And, like, it's not just me being affected by it. Everybody's been affected by it on our show. So, it's gonna be rough for a little while. It's probably gonna be rough on the director, for that matter. Ain't nobody safe. But that is why, as we were talking about earlier, it is really, really important when you are going into any kind of art to have a plan. To have a plan and to stick to it as best as you can, because if you change things at the last minute, that is a lot of extra work And time and frustration, it's not fun. The more you can plan in advance, especially for a really big thing like a movie or a cartoon or anything like that, the more headaches you will save yourself in the future. Plan, plan, plan. Yeah, I'm mostly just I'm just laser pointed on Deltarune Chapter 5. I'm like, are there any other games coming out that I'm super excited about? I don't think this year. Aside from like Okami 2, and who knows when that's going to come out, not this year, some point in the future. Oh, good luck on your new job. I hope it's not too difficult. That's always the hard part, is like starting out something new, transitioning, you know, especially like I way prefer like having a routine, knowing exactly what's expected of me and how long it'll take me. So I understand that kind of like, oh, I don't know what to expect kind of thing. That's always stressful. So good luck with your new job. I hope that it goes well. Resident Evil Requiem? I'm glad your job's going decently. Always important to have employments. At the very, you know, like even with work being rough right now, I am very glad I'm employed. A lot of my friends are in the unemployment situation right now, and it super duper sucks. So I will get over the struggles of work because I enjoy my job and I'm glad I have it. And I can get through it. It just sucks because like it probably means that the next Eldritchrune comic is going to take a while to come out. Because the time I would have spent on it, I will not have that time. Even though at least the next one has like very easy backgrounds. So at least there's that. But it's still like 16 and a half pages long, so it's going to take a bit to do. Alas, alack. Next one I'm doing, by the way, is Meeting Caddy in Jockington. We're finally getting to that, so look out for that at some point in the future. Don't know when it'll be up, because it's going to take me a while to do it, but it will happen bit by bit. Little by little. Oh yeah, I've heard Metaphor is good. Lots of good games out there. Also, I want to know, like, when Chapter 5 is going to come out, because I want to know, like, how I should plan friend-powered Friday nights after I finish TS Underswap. Because I'm guessing TS Underswap is actually going to take me... I thought that would be, like, a 3-session game. But it sounds like it's going to be even longer than I expected. It sounds like it's quite lengthy. So, it might go a little longer. I might not have time to start Chrono Trigger before Chapter 5. What page number am I on right now? For which thing? Do you mean what I'm working on, like, right now, currently? Or for, the Caddy and Jockington comic? Currently. I'm right now doing... Again, I'm hopping back and forth between a lot of different things on the ending. You know, last week we were working on some backgrounds, and I'm like, okay, let's switch that up. We'll change to, some character fills. You know, that's a little different. Probably hop back to backgrounds next week. I'm working on fills for part 6 of the ending. Keep in mind this is part 6 out of 20. So the ending's pretty lengthy. But I've my chart is slowly being filled out at various stages. I think like the farthest along I am on, like, yeah, it's pretty long. That's why I've been like doing it in little sections. A little bit like, okay, I'm like, I can't do all of this at once. It's going to overwhelm me. So I will work on it like a little bit once a week. And that's often what I end up doing on the stream. Especially if like an actual part is not ready to be shown on stream. But that's what I'm doing. I'm going to take PTO for Chapter 5. If I have to, yes. Yes, I will if I need to. I did that last time because I'm desperate to spend time on it. Also, thank you for coming. Okay, well, good luck with your work stuff. Either way, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for coming. And good luck with your job. PTO is paid time off. Basically, it's vacation time. That's why I really want to know, you know, when the thing will come out, because usually you have to put in for PTO. You have to say, like, okay, I'm going to use my vacation days for this day. And you need to do it as much in advance as you can. So, if I need to take PTO, I want to know as soon as possible. Really, a GTO instead. A little bit different. A little different. But yeah, when chapters 3 and 4 came out, I took like 2 days off. But I had to say ahead of time, hey, I'm taking these vacation days. And also it worked out pretty well with my schedule in that I was not in the middle of a board anyway. Which is why I would prefer new chapter comes out mid-July, because 1, that's my birthday, so it will be a birthday release. And 2, that is schedule-wise for me ideal in terms of, like, I will not be in the middle of a board. I can focus on the game then. Clamp does do that, yep. Oh, I almost forgot that. So I can't do that whole thing where he's like, and then it's coming out tomorrow. Like, please don't do that to me, Toby. I have a full-time job. I need to set aside time for it. I need to plan. There goes Manure Pants. Ah! Work continues to suck for him. That's true of every universe. You can never escape the crappy job. Or getting eaten by a giant bird. You know, those are your options, really. He just gets both. Interesting. I know very little about cars. Oh, that's fun. I hope you're enjoying Earthbound. That's a great game. Earthbound! I do think I like Mother 3 a bit more than Earthbound, personally. Having played those two. Earthbound was great, but Mother 3 was really excellent. Alright, thanks for coming again. Have a good rest of your day. Yeah, if you drive one for work, good to know about cars. I mean, if you just, like, have to commute, then probably don't have to know anything more beyond the car you drive. Oh yeah, Mother 3 has good pixel art, but it also has, like, you know, really good music. I kind of like what they do with the characters a bit more. Cute little moments and stuff. I like the themes in Mother 3. I'll admit, like, having played through Earthbound, I kind of forgot, like, a good chunk of the story about it. Whereas, like, for Mother 3, more of the story stuck with me. Subaru. I'm pretty sure Subaru is, like, just also a name in Japanese? Maybe I'm wrong. Alright, let's, move on. Oh, okay. Yeah, Earthbound was very much a and then plot. Very episodic, and then they go here, and then they go here. Whereas Mother 3 has a lot more steady, thorough line with it. Even though there are quite a few moments in Mother 3 where, like, you're not playing as, Lucas or anything. You have, like, entirely different parties. Whereas, from what I remember from Earthbound... No, actually, no, there were moments in Earthbound where you didn't have Ness. You jumped on over to, like, you know, Jeff and Poe and stuff like that. Or Pooh. Etc., etc. I feel like much of what makes, like, Earthbound, like, really stick out in people's mind is the whole Gigas battle at the end and how, like, weird and creepy and different it is from the rest of the game. Whereas, Mother 3 just really leaned into, like, the the characters themselves. I don't know. Lucas feels like a bit more of a fleshed out character than Ness does to me. Jockington's like, soccer, 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 yeah! I mean, they're killing people too. They're just doing it with soccer balls. He's like, I got my snack. Big burb. I feel like we've had the discussion of like, when was soccer invented? Oh well, if they don't know what soccer is, then it becomes Eldritch Ball. What is this strange ball from another universe? Black and white and shapes all over. Speaking of shapes all over, gonna make my way around Birdley's big old feathers. Big old feathery feather. I feel like whenever I've mostly written Birdley in now with any parts of Eldritchrune, he's mostly just comic relief. He's there to make annoying statements. People are like, oh, Birdley! Which I guess is kind of what happened in canon too. In England in 1863. Okay, so that was... so soccer didn't exist when this takes place. Oops, oh well. I'm sure, like, buttons didn't exist either, and yet here they are. So... Wah, 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 ba, ba, ba. I don't think we should come to Eldritchrune for historical accuracy in any sense of the word. Don't look at me, I didn't research it! Ah! I'm mostly just here to have a good time with giant beasties and scary things happening. And also they just don't have guns or electricity. No Vimeo game. Oh, so there were variations on it since medieval times. Okay, close enough. Yay! They did have something like soccer. Probably didn't look like a soccer ball, but you know. That's where the Eldritch stuff comes in. Remind me, you've heard about the morphogenic field theory? Chris, like, I don't know what any of those words mean. None of those words are in the Bible. We don't even have a Bible because we're not Christian. Yeah, I mean, if guitars don't exist, then you probably still have, like, lutes or stuff. Like, you have stringed instruments. Those have existed for a very long time. So, if there were no, I think we might come back to filling those in later with, like, fiery stuff or whatever. Fiery stuff. And there's fiery stuff, but yeah. I am excited for whenever we get to the Caddy and Jockington part. I'm hoping to do some interesting things with that. But it's going to be a while because of work. I guess so, for whatever the angels' religion is. They do have, like, you know... Have you read the holy words, Caddy? Yeah, I memorized them all. Well, you memorize them. Yeah, loot makes sense. I don't know, it does still seem like Christianity exists in Deltarune. It's just like that's a human religion rather than a monster one. They're keeping it vague. Keeping it vague. She's a cat. She doesn't have to, you know, do a lot. Here to sunbathe. Actually, cat and snake combined is probably, like, you know, not going to do that much because, you know, those are both animals that are like, ah, the sun, I'm going to lay in that for, like, 5 hours. And then us humans are going to sit there like, the animal gets to lay in the sun for 5 hours. I want to do that. All animals like a big sun to lay in for 5 hours. Make sure I get that. That is true. I do find it extremely funny that, like, we made the big sporty jock guy just like a snake with no arms or legs. But he's got his own fan club and magazines and everything. When will it be Jockington's time to shine? When will he grow the beard? When will it happen? I know, please give us a newsletter, please. I'm dying out here, Toby. Alright, I don't think we'll finish this page, but we can make a little bit of progress on it. A little bit. I imagine the next newsletter is probably just going to be like, we'll actually announce the release date. And I'm kind of guessing that it'll be sometime in May. Not the release will be in May, but the newsletter will be sometime in May. But life's hard, Toby. Please give us a newsletter soon. something ACDS something. I know. Again, I'm sorry. I'm gonna be busy. I don't know if I have time to dive into a lore pit. The work's gonna get me. The notes are gonna get me. My foot's gonna get me. Maybe in June. Again, I'm hoping July. I personally want July. July would be better for me. And it would also kind of match up with what he said about it being in the latter half of the year. July is like just the latter half of the year. I don't think we'll have to wait until like October or anything, but I'm not quite sure about June, and I really don't think, it's going to release the same time as Toy Story 5 and Digital Circus. I'm like, I actually don't think that's going to happen. No, I don't think that's going to happen at all. The reason why I don't think that's going to happen is because the previous artist that went before me already had their pitch this week, and he is like me. He's even probably better than I am. He's a really incredible board artist. He's very skilled. He's also the sort that like does not have a lot of notes, and he got a lot of notes. He got like a ton of notes on like almost every shot. So I'm like, okay, if this guy is getting a lot of notes, then I ain't gonna escape that either. That's just the reality of it. It would be wonderful if I got no notes, but I'm not anticipating that. Like if even one of like the best board artists in our group is getting a lot of notes, then I must face the reality of many notes. Yeah, it is a show for toddlers. It is a show for toddlers, but in that sense it's almost a little harder because they are really particular about the camera has to look like this. You have to show these characters in this position. It has to be extremely clear. Because especially like people at the top, they do not have a lot of trust in like little kids, and they're like, if we don't do this show it this way, the kids will not understand or they'll get bored. So they are in fact very particular about how it's shot, how it's cut, the angles we show characters from, etc., etc. Lots of stuff like that. The thing is, it's also an action show, so it also has to be a lot of dynamic camera stuff, and that can be a little time consuming. So trying to strike this balance between, okay, we need a dynamic camera but not a confusing camera. It's a little tricky. No, I can't do anything like that. No, slipping Jimmy. No, making stuff for very little kids, pretty difficult actually. You have a lot of things to consider that you would not consider as an adult, because like as an adult, you already know how certain things work, and you have to remember that, like, a little kid is not going to have the same experience you are. And I think it's important that we teach them those experiences, so that's why I wish some of these toddler shows were pushed kids a little bit more. But that is not unique to, like, my show. That is, like, a lot of kid shows. But most kid shows are not Bluey. You know. Only got one of those. Yes, this is for fills. As you can see on the previous one, what I usually do is I'll, like, do the outline, and then I can just, like, select and do a little extension on that. And it'll make it filling them in pretty easy, because right now we're just doing fills. We'll do shading at a later date. This is the process that I found works pretty well for me in terms of, like, speed. So yeah, this is just fills. It's fills day today. Next week we'll probably go back to backgrounds. I just didn't want to do, like, several weeks of backgrounds in a row because I thought that might be a little boring. But we'll switch on and off between characters and backgrounds for a bit. Yeah, of course Bluey is good. Like, Bluey is excellent. Most kids shows are not Bluey. And that's just the way it is. So yes, I'm sorry, Caddy and Jockington will have to wait because I will not be able to escape the notes. The note-pocalypse. Still, I'm in better shape than Burger Pants is. Wah wah. When I was a very little kid, the shows that I had growing up were like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and Sesame Street and Reading Rainbow, and those were really dang good shows. I know they still exist today, but I don't know if they're as ubiquitous as they were when I was little. Plus, I think they've changed in some ways. Do I have gains? No. 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 Oh yeah, Fraggle Rock. Down in Fraggle Rock. Down in Fraggle Rock. A lot of good Jim Henson stuff. The problem with getting swole is that, like, it's hard because whenever I try and exercise my right arm too much, it aggravates my wrist. I'm so frustrated because I need to do strength training. I need to do that more often because, especially as you get older, your muscles start to, like, kind of fall apart, and it's bad, and you gotta, like, train your muscles stronger. So I actually, like, do need to, like, train my muscles more just for, like, health reasons. As you get older, it's really important to keep your muscles in good shape. It means you won't, like, you know, you're less likely to have a bad fall or anything like that as you become elderly. But it's hard because if I exercise my right arm, it hurts my wrist. I got to do it, like, very carefully, and I got to work on that more. Maybe if I can't do my morning walks, I'll try and focus on, you know, very, very careful weight training. Just, I'm trying to hit this careful balance of, okay, trying to, you know, actually exercise that muscle and also not, like, make my wrist worse. It's pretty hard. I've expressed this to, you know, my physiotherapist and stuff, and he's given me stuff I can do. It just feels like I'm, like, kind of stalled. I'm not making great progress. So, bodies. You gotta take care of them. You gotta eat your fiber. You gotta do your exercises. You gotta get some sunshine. You gotta get sleep. The sleep part I'm pretty okay with. I get my sleep is pretty decent. I had to start going to bed earlier because I was staying up until, like, you know, 11 or midnight, and then I would just be exhausted the next day, and I'm like, oh shoot, I can't do that anymore. I started going to bed like an hour earlier, and it helped. Turns out you need sleep. We need to transcend the flesh. I know. It's like, can you give me a robot body that lets me do this without problems? Well, then we'll talk. The problem is that robots need maintenance too. It's that frustrating thing of like, okay, the flesh is weak, but also the flesh is still better than robots. Robots also weak. Yeah, try to go to bed by 11. I usually try by like 10 or 10:30 because I usually get up at 6. I'm a morning person. Which is why we do morning streams. Because I'm chipper and awake in the morning. I do my best work in the morning. Exactly. Flesh can't get EMP'd. True. For all we complain about flesh is like a better self-repairing machine than machines have been so far. We've got a long way to go before we get to any of that. Alright, I think I'm just going to do one more panel with Jockington here. And then we will call it a day, because I gotta get some lunch to feed the flesh machine. Give it the calories, the fibers, the sugars, the carbs, the vitamin. Man, if I could get an indestructible robot hand I could draw with, that'd be great. If wishes were fishes and all that. But as it is now, machines can't do what a human body can't. Glad you got rid of that glitch. Unfortunately, we're almost done here. Just like Jockington's almost done. With food. With breakfast. And I gotta go get lunch. Elfies, you gotta get lunch. You gotta eat your green. She's sitting and watching me from her hammock. Entertainment is destroyed. Tainted by the chocolate-covered broccoli kids. Yep. I will say that's not what I'm making. I'm not making high-quality edutainment. I mean, I think we're working really hard to make a good show. People are not slouching off. This is a really good team that is working as hard as we can to make a show that looks great and sounds great and feels great. But we also are doing what the client wants, and what the client wants is candy. Is brain candy. Yeah, I'm glad they make you happy. She makes me happy. I'm glad she's here. I get to talk to her all the time, and every time I turn around and see her, I'm like, the girl! And just like gush over her. My sweet little baby boo. Alright, we'll go ahead and just do these fills in now, even though it's not the full page, just to show that they're done. Ibby Bibby Lizar, she's my cute little girl. Even though she's got the tremors, we love her a lot. Alright, let's fill this stuff in. Even though the page is not done enough, because we must stop now. Yeah, she has muscle tremor problem. It's probably something in her liver. The vet has looked at it and is kind of like, okay, we wouldn't really know for sure what this is unless we did like a liver biopsy, and surgery is kind of stressful and hard on lizards, so I'm like, if this is not necessary for her life, then I don't really want to do surgery. And the vet was like, yeah, that's fine. She seems robust otherwise, but she does have like her head and her muscles shake. It looks like she's shivering, but she's not, because reptiles don't shiver. So she has a muscle tremor. It makes it a little bit hard for her to catch crickets sometimes, because she's like trying to focus on them and a little bit shaky. But what the vet said is that she doesn't act like a lizard that's sick. She's getting by okay. Okay, sorry about the ad. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, I'm gonna be stopping now. Because I gotta get lunch, and I gotta go get her crickets and stuff like that.
so I can feed those to her.
But I wish I knew what to do about her muscle trimmer stuff. She really does like follow after her namesake, and that, you know, she shivers, so she would like have shaky talking. She stays inside all day and just hugs her blue shark, Undyne. She's an indoors nerd.
You were just like Alfie's.
But yeah, I love her regardless. But thank you guys. I hope you're not in Adland. Hopefully you can escape Adland. If you are, then we can wrap up here. Yes, gotta get back to drawing. Basically, no, go away. I get those ads too. They're so annoying. I'm glad I get to actually draw with you guys. Good grief, I don't want no computer to do that for me. I want to do that. That's the fun part. That's why I do it for my job. Anyways, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. It's super fun to chat with you while I'm drawing. We got through a good chunk of pages to get today. There'll be more of this next weekend. Probably we'll do backgrounds next weekend just to switch it off. And of course, more TS Underswap on Friday. So yeah, thanks a bunch for coming. I hope you guys have a lovely day. Go out and get some sun if you have the sun. And yeah, I will see you all next time. Alright, see you later.